Well, right, because from what I understand, at one point they wanted him to testify against Young Thug in the YSL case, and he refused. Now, did you guys have a conversation about this? And I mean, were they offering him some sort of plea deal in exchange for his cooperation?
There's the only deal that you have seen is the deal that was publicly filed that he said no to, and how we ultimately resolved the case, which under Georgia parole guidelines makes him potentially eligible in now less than 3 months. And other than that, that's that. We've been very clear publicly, which was very important to Ray, that everybody be well aware of the fact that he's not testifying in any case. And I think I've said before, he wouldn't even testify in a traffic ticket. So he's not going to testify in another courtroom. He wants to be as far from courtrooms as possible. He sat through over 2 weeks of jury selection. I know it's enough to burn out most people, and he's one of them.
Do you find that common with clients that you represent when they simply just would not cooperate, sometimes to their own detriment? And a lot of times, I mean, in his case, and we'll talk about that in a second, it kind of worked out. But in a lot of cases, you don't cooperate, you might end up doing 20 years over something you may not even have done yourself.
Yeah. So, look, a big part of our practice, Vlad, is federal practice. We have federal cases from coast to coast, border to border. We're all over America doing federal cases. Our federal system feeds on itself with cooperation. I know you did a stellar job with Sammy DeBull's interview. And in many ways, a lot of us, right, think historically, is that where it all began? And the feds are addicted to cooperation. The system survives on cooperation, right? Those like little Russian dolls where one's on top of the other. That's cooperation.
Mm-hmm.
I say to people in federal holding facilities all the time when they get arrested, I go and see them. I go, hey, when you get back and you're eating at the cafeteria, look to your left, look to your right. Chances are they're both cooperating, and no one says they're cooperating. And so what you're talking about is really unique to our federal system, and it is. When you don't cooperate in the federal system, I think you're a minority, but we're never going to bend anybody's arm. We're not going to break anybody's arm to make them do that. That's a real soul-searching decision that folks have to make.